Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing? I hope that you all are in your cozy PJs. I am in my bluey PJs, and I am cuddling with my peppermint candy kind of pillow. I have chamomile tea in here. Um, and I am just so as cozy as I can be. Tell me what you're drinking. If you're drinking something, and tell me what cozy thing you have around you right now. Um, I am very, very excited to be with you all this evening. I can't believe that next week is Christmas. I'm glad that we were able to jump on and have one last book club before the end of the year, though. Very, very, very stoked about that. Hi, MB. How are you? Hey, did you get that cozy sweat set so that we can match? I need to know. Um, Just like a true procrastinator, I started this book about an hour ago, so I did not finish, but I'm here for all the details. Uh, Planning on finish it after the live show. Good, good. Um, Drinking an iced gingerbread latte. Oh my god, there is okay, so I only showed the gingerbread cookie in my story today, but we went to Lornay's Bakery, which is within walking distance of my office, which it should not be because it is very dangerous. But they make the freaking best gingerbread chai latte. It was so good. It was so good. Didn't read the book because I totally forgot, but still here for the chat. And wow, next week, the big day. It doesn't feel like Christmas to me yet. Yeah, Diva. No, it does not. My mother-in-law actually called me while I was at work today and said, "Hey, um, I totally thought that I had a whole other week before Christmas, and Christmas is next week." I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, it is." And she was like, "What did you get?" And then she asked what I got, like, her daughter and, my son my, brother-in-law, like, all of these things. It was hilarious. Uh, Gary, family recipe holiday cookies. That sounds amazing. After Christmas. Okay, but if you do, I have to have a picture. I am cozy and sipping on my seltzer water. Yum. I got too many books pillow. I'm drinking Sprite Cranberry Zero. That sounds good. So I have I have not had Sprite since I had my tonsils removed when I was like 11 because my mom made me drink Sprite so much that I got really sick of it, and I have not had a Sprite since then. But Sprite Cranberry, that sounds intriguing. That sounds pretty good. But I'm drinking chamomile tea because hopefully I can actually get some decent sleep tonight. But because the boys have been waking up early. Hi Alicia, how are you? All right. So for the 12 Days of Cosmos and for book club for December, we read Everyone This Christmas Has a Secret by Benjamin Stevenson. And I love this author. I've read every single thing that he has put out as of right now. So my first book that I read by him was his debut novel, which was Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone. And then I read this year, Everyone on This Train is a Suspect. And then this novella came out not too long ago. Hi, Jennifer. How are you? So here's the setup. Um, my name is Ernest Cunningham. I used to be a fan of Golden Age mysteries until I found myself frequently stuck in the middle of real life ones. I'd hoped that any self respecting murderer would take it easy over the holidays. I was wrong. So here I am at the Christmas show of world famous magician Ryan Blaze. And how freaking perfect of a name for a magician is Ryan Blaze? Like, so good. Whose benefactor has been murdered. My suspects are all professional tricksters: the magician, the assistant, the executive, the hypnotist, the identical twin, the counselor, the stagehand. If I can see through the illusions, I know I can solve it. After all, a good murder is just like a magic trick, isn't it? Everyone this Christmas is a suspect. Bum, bum, bum. So, what were what is your rating for Everyone This Christmas Has a Secret? Um, and I'm still wanting you guys to use Cleo as a rating. We are going to stick with having Cleo be our mascot for book club, even though she is no longer with us. Try not to get upset. Um, but for those that don't know, Cleo had had to go over the Rainbow Bridge on December 7th. Um, so what were your ratings for Everyone This Christmas Has a Secret? I'm pretty sure I rated it 5 stars. Pretty sure I read it 4 stars. I rated it 4 stars. I just brought it up on my phone. I rated it 4 stars. Let's see. And B, 4.5 Cleos, 4 Cleos plus a heart for our. Thank you, Meg. Loved this book. Perfect mystery for Christmas. So 5 Cleos. Yes. 5 Cleos, 4 Cleos. Yes, sweet girl. I miss her very much. Yeah, I am so happy that I stumbled upon this for um for the 12 Days of Cosmos. One, I had no idea that it was going to be advent calendar themed, and when I themed 12 Days of Cosmos this year to be advent calendar, I was like, this is kismet. Like, this is perfect. I could not have planned it better. I thought, "Oh my goodness, this is fantastic. This is wonderful." So I am so happy that so many of you for Cleo's have enjoyed it so much, especially after last month's book. Diva, well, now I wish I'd read it. Seems like great ratings. What I've read so far is hilarious. Yes, yes, it so good. And his writing is just, if you haven't picked up any of his other books, the writing is so on par and hilarious, and just I love it. Yeah, so thank you. I absolutely loved it. So I'm gonna take off the dust jacket because it's gonna drive me an absolute sane while I'm talking to you guys. But I actually read this book physically. Not only did I read it physically, but I wrote in it. Like, I actually hand wrote and annotated in this book, guys. I haven't done that for a book club book in a while. Now, I was going to actually do a whole character list and everything. But I was like, no, like I just didn't have the mindset to do that. But I actually started writing in the little advent calendar before. If you guys, I want to know, did you guys listen to this, or did you like, what was your format of reading in this? Normally I ask, because normally I'm 100% an audiobook girl, right? Like, that has been my main form of reading over the past like 2 years, 3 years. But this book, I just like, I had to pick it up and physically, like, physically touch it, and since it was such a small book because it was a novella, I felt like it was easier to do, and it didn't feel so daunting to pick it up, like, while the boys were playing in the living room or while I was doing my laps around my office because I sit at my desk during, the day, so I was very, very happy with that. Let's see. Uh, I got the second book on a 2 for 1 sale on Audible. Can't wait to listen. Yes. I feel like Christmas Mystery Gold with this one. Yes. Yes, thank you, Alicia. Yeah, I was on it. Physical book, listen and read. Kindle and audio. How was the audio? I wanna know because, normally I'm all over the audio. Found hardcover in a bookstore, awesome. I read this one on ebook, and now I wish I had a physical copy. Read physical from the library. I stuck Christmas Gold with this one and The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year. The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year is my most favorite book of all time this year. Like, it is hands down. I cannot I know that that's not what this live stream is about, but I cannot state any more verbally h how much The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year is my favorite book of this year. The library had the nerve to put a plastic overlay on top of the dust jacket, and I feel like an alarm will sound if I try to remove it. I get that. I get that. Uh, the audio was really good. I really liked the narrator. That's awesome because I might have to still get it in audio because you guys know that I spoil myself. And it could be drugs. It could be drugs. But so I loved the fact that we are following Ernest and that like all of his books are following Ernest, our author turned like detective turned, he's got all of these things going on. And he has been asked by his ex-wife to come out to where she is at because she has been arrested for the murder of her boyfriend, and her boyfriend is a well-known like past actor turned philanthropist. He is known for when his brother overdosed on drugs, that he basically left his very, very, um, I guess you would say, well-doing career as an actor. It was about like taking off career as an actor and basically turned everything around to trying to help others that were in his brother's shoes turn their lives around. And did it in the form of opening up playhouses and different things like that, which I thought was a super, super cool premise. Like, I really, really liked that part of it. And so I loved the fact that like I highlighted quite a few things. With all that in mind, with this whole thing's best treated as an advent calendar. There are 24 chapters, 24 clues, and various bits and bobs that will help me with this case. I loved the fact that every chapter opened with a gift tag to who the present was from. I loved the fact that every chapter ended with a note that would go on a day. I thought that was so cool. What did you guys think about that? And with the audiobook, did you guys get that like did they say before chapter 1 like gift tag Lyle Pierce from Secret Santa? Like did it say those things? Because I feel like one of the things that I really really got from this having it physically was being able to see those items within the physical book. So I want to know how they did that with audio. Um but I want to talk about the different types of characters in Benjamin Stevenson's book because there was a lot of characters, right? There were a lot of suspects. I know that when we normally read cozy mysteries, um, there are normally no more than like 4 or 5 suspects, but this one had how many did it have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 suspects? Did it seem too much, especially in such a short book, or did it seem just right? What do you guys think? Um, I thought it was so cute and it made it more Christmassy. I know. It was so it was like so well thought out, well designed. Um, and they added a sound for the advent door. Alicia, oh my god. I have to get the audiobook. That is so cool. That is I freaking love that. That is brilliant. Brilliant. Uh, I I love that. Um, I as we were reading through, I did get annoyed with Ernest not telling his fiance that he was like his real reason for going to the magic show uh because he was going to go and help his ex-wife, and then it cracked me up that in the end uh Juliet was like, yeah, Aaron's family. I'm mad at you that you didn't ask me to come with you. I thought that was hilarious. I was like, yeah, you're an idiot. You should have taken Juliet with you. Um, I didn't mind the number of suspects. Good. Yeah. I thought it was just right because the characters were so distinct, very distinct. And that's really hard to do to like get that many different types of characters so well written in such a short amount of time. So well done. She was hilarious, absolutely hilarious. Many of the advent clues were spot on to solve the murder. They really were because, like, after we figured out the whodunit, I, like, went back and looked at things and I was like, oh, I thought it was great. More than 3 characters and I can lose the plot, but I loved them all and they were so needed. They really were. Like, you had to have every single person there in order for the mystery to make sense. So we've got um Josh Fellman, we've got so like Josh was the reporter. Was the reporter on here? I don't think that the reporter was on here. Because at one point I thought maybe he could have been. So that technically that's 8. Um I thought it was so cool that the reporter was on there and was helping out. There's just so many things going on. Um, and I loved the fact so the first murder is happens at night when Erin is woken up and she has blood all over herself. Um, and she goes down, she sees a knife at the top of the stairs, she goes down the stairs following a blood trail, and at the bottom of the stairs she sees her boyfriend gutted and basically blood everywhere. She instantly calls um she instantly calls not the police, but she calls her ex-husband. And you're like, why would she call Earn? So that automatically makes her a suspect, right, in the police's eyes because she didn't automatically call them. And she tells him that she needs his help. He didn't answer, of course. And so we make it through uh him coming in and seeing the crime scene, and there uh her boyfriend had also written in his own blood Christmas. And so then they're thinking that there's something going on with Christmas, and like maybe that's why there's tons of things going on. So then Ernest decides that he's going to go to the show and sort of figure out who everybody is and what's going on. And so that's sort of what happens as we go into I think it was chapter 4. I think. No, chapter 5. Because then they oh, oh yes, because Lyle reported a murder. Yes. Because advent calendar number 5 was report your own murder, which I thought was just absolutely wild. Talked about how, are you telling me Lyle called in his own murder the day before he died? And it just, oh, oh, so many things were going on. Like so many things are going on that even though this book is short, I'm having difficulty trying to figure out like what's the best way to talk about this book. Definitely gasped at the reveal. Erin had no alibi, almost impossible that she was innocent, right? Like she had no form of any kind of alibi. She was the perfect scapegoat for this. Just absolutely utter perfection of like here is a person to 100% just blame it on. But I loved how the reporter that like constantly harassed Ernest and kept making his life hell, uh decided that he was going to sort of help him in the end, which is what made Ernest very, very like sketched out on like, like, why are you trying to help me? Then we get into visiting the playhouse where all of the magic is happening. And that's when we start getting introduced to all of the other people. So we've got the magician, who he's a piece of work himself, Ryan Blaze, like a cocaine addicted, narcissistic man, um, who you would think it would be an oxymoron that he is even on that stage for what Lyle's whole entire being is about, because he's all about taking people who are trying to get over drug addiction and bringing them about with the arts and giving them a sense of purpose. And yet the main attraction for this part of the book, or the things that he is doing, is addicted to coke. Like that was, you're like, oh, what is going on? Like, why is this happening? So I automatically hated him, which I thought was fantastically done. Like when Ernest walked in and the magician's head just sort of like fell off, I was like, oh no, there's going to be a second murder. And then it was the fake head. And then I was like, oh, okay, so there's only going to be one murder in here, because that's what it said in the back of the book, is that there's only one murder, so I only have to keep up with one murder, right? And it's like, yeah, you wish, Courtney, that you only had to keep up with one murder. I thought that was so freaking well done, like that whole entire scene. I really like the magic parts and learning some of the tricks. Yeah. Like just like having the whole entire underground part of the stage and how all of that is made. It just blows my mind. The amount of engineering and math and all of those, my mind just does not work that way. It's so cool. I really, really, really loved it. So, we have, the Felicity Harrington, who is the CFO of Lyle's, um, whole entire foundation, and she's basically telling Ernest to come in, do whatever he needs to get this open, closed, like, shut, and to get the police out and gone. Um, and so she's just pointing him in all different kinds of directions. And at first, he's thinking that she's just trying to give him an all access feed, and he doesn't really think too much of it. But it was it was very, very interesting learning about all of the different people um from her viewpoint. I I thought that that was interesting. When we start learning about, like, the twins, and how different they were, I thought that that was interesting. I was shocked at the second murder. Didn't know if Rylan was shot or decapitated, right? Yeah. Like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, is he shot? Is he decapitated? Is this part of the show? Is he really alive? Like, it, because at one point I thought, okay, maybe he's actually alive and he faked his own death because he really did kill Lyle, and this is his way to get away with it. But then I was like, well, the police would have said that it was a fake body if he really wasn't there. So obviously he really is dead. And so, but again, I'm just so impressed that I second guessed myself so many freaking times reading this book, um, because it, especially for just how short it is, um, you have to really, really, really write really well in order to do that. Um, so we've got Sam and Teresa, who are the twins. Teresa is the hypnotist. Sam is sort of like the behind the scenes gopher for Felicity. Teresa has not ever relapsed. She's like the prim and perfect twin, whereas Sam has constantly relapsed. And we find later that the straw that broke the camel's back for Lyle with Blaze was the fact that Blaze had offered Coke to Sam, um, who he knows has been trying to stay clean. Um, and so Lyle was just losing faith in everything that he had been believing in. Um, and so there was like a whole bunch of other things. Lyle and Blaze were also looking into selling his foundation. Um, and Lyle was looking into it as I'm selling the land and everything around it so that I can continue to build the foundation. Blaze was looking at it as like, I'm now owning all of this. But then Felicity, we later learn, is sort of skimming a lot of money off of the foundation. And so there's just so many like hands in the pot. Um, one of the things that I highlighted is one of the rules of murder mysteries is that the detective cannot succeed by virtue of luck or coincidence. I loved those little tidbits that he puts throughout the book. It was funny how he spoke about the twins in mystery, like bait and switch, but he was very honest about his twins in the story. Yes, yes, he was. Like I loved I loved how honest he was, or like when he was like, okay, I'm not going to deceive you. Okay, I kind of deceived you here, but look, listen, I was even shocked here. So like you had to be shocked here. It was all just for the shock of it, but like I'm being honest with you now about it. There were so many times that I was literally cracking up because I love it when the main character is like talking to you. Um I absolutely loved that. So, there were times where I was writing like, "Oh, he switched the bullets here." Um, and I I really, really enjoyed trying to honestly figure out the whodunit. I loved being able to get lost in the story and feel like, um, not feel I don't know, it was just it was like reading a mystery for the first time. I don't know how better to explain it. I love the connections about Christmas specials. Yes. Yes. I agree. Um, uh, mm Hmm. So I even put here on chapter 13 when Ryland's head looked just as surprised as his fake one to be separated from his shoulders. I wrote, but Sam warned of the bullet, did she know the blade had even changed? So I was wondering, did Sam know the killer? Like, I didn't think that Sam was the killer at this point, but I thought that maybe she knew who the killer was, but that the killer maybe tricked her into something. I mean, I was in it. Um, and I thought that the way that Ernest decided to how he figured it out, uh I love that he oh, at first I also at one point thought that Teresa did it. I even put Teresa did it really, really big. Um, because she put every junkie's done a break-in somewhere. We all know how sharp glass can be. That's my point. This devil pushes you to the edge. Don't take Samantha there. And I was like, what do you mean she knows how sharp glass can be? Um, I thought that it was brilliant, and this is the spoiler for Blaze's death. I thought it was brilliant that that with Blaze's death, all of them were in on it. I like I should have seen it coming, very Murder on the Orient Express style, and yet I didn't at all because I just I didn't see all of them working together at all, but I was like, "Oh my goodness." I uh, I was just like, "What? What do you mean?" And then I thought that it was, like, his assistant, the one who had all of the drawings and did most of all of the magic tricks, and I was just sitting here and I was like, what? Huh? Uh, and then, like, the way that he, like, just it was so, so, so good. A ton of clues in this one. I thought the axe on the cover was a clue. I couldn't put the book down. Yes. I fell for Teresa being the killer too. Yeah, I was seriously like, this has to be like it has to be her. I was all for it. Um I love right here. Life's not fair. No door to open on this section, I'm afraid. Like Andy says, they can't all be chocolates. I've solved it, but like every good Christmas lunch, final preparations must be made. I spent the rest of the 23rd sliding 6 lenders under the doors of dressing rooms at the theater, and all of them said, and for my final trick, like, it's so good. I thought, Teresa hypnotized Aaron into the murder and used the axe on Rylan, right? Like, no, but no, that's not what happened. Uh, I just thought that that was so well done. So we find that all of them planned um, to kill Blaze, and that Blaze killed. Wasn't it Blaze? No. Oh my goodness. Did I forget? I didn't forget. Did I forget? How could I forget? No. Christopher, the the uh, counselor is the one who killed Lyle. And I I did not see that coming at all. Like I was shooketh. I could not. I was like, "What? What?" Like I just I don't know. It was awesome. Like it says um the gun shook in Christopher's hand despite 2 murders. He hadn't developed a knack for it. And why are you making me do this? He shouted. His voice echoed off the glass walls. I don't have any hard proof, just deductions, but an innocent woman sits in jail for your crimes. And he said Lyle was dyslexic. He had his processes. It flared up when he was stressed. And like I thought that was like the way that Lyle's office was set up, and like the way that his like whole entire room was set up. I was I, like I that was the coolest way to reveal that he was dyslexic, and like for me as like a teacher and like an educator to go back and read like how he set up his life and to see that like that was so cool to be able to see that. Um so um hold on. Um yes. So Chris plus Sam got jumbled up because and turned into Miss. He called the police. Then he called Chris for advice and he came over. And then Chris stabbed him. Um Lyle was done. He had already made up his mind that everything that he had built was rotten to the core, and he was just done with it. Um but Christopher, he had worked so hard to pull himself out of where he was and um where you know life had taken him. um it was really really hard to hear, listening to his once close friend tell him people could never change. um it just that was when he flipped, and it was just, oh my goodness. It was just, this is such a good book. It's just such a good book. Um, very smart writing. I was shocked, but the reasoning was heartbreaking. Yes, I felt the same way when they had the reveal. It was so well written, so well done. Um, I so just what do I want to say? Clever. It was cleverly written, and I'm very 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 happy that you all also enjoyed it, um and that you also um uh felt the same way that I did. um I felt so bad for Lyle. His trust had been betrayed, so I don't know if he truly felt like that or if he was still feeling from betrayal. Yeah, like I feel like he would have, after he allowed himself to feel all of the things, the betrayal and the hurt and the um misunderstandings. I feel like he would have realized that he was still making a difference. He just wasn't given that time to be able to have um that that moment to be in his feelings. Paper Guillotine as the impossible crime was fantastic. Yeah. I loved it. I loved it. And when Blaze cut his finger, he was like, that's sharper than normal. I was like, oh, that was so good. So good. I loved it. But it was so well done. I loved at the end, it showed all of the advent calendars. And then Ernest Cunningham's 7 Commandments of Holiday Specials. This was just so good. I love the killer must not hate Christmas or have had a traumatic experience involving Christmas for the purpose of a Christmas mystery. The Grinch is too predictable. The detective must at some point learn the true meaning of the word Christmas. But the true meaning of the word Christmas in this one is it's Chris plus mus, but it's Sam and it's the dyslexic, like, it's just so good. Um, with respect to everyone's holiday plans, the crime must be committed within a finite window, preferably after December 20th and solved by New Year's Eve, with the exception of certain serial killers who may conduct their sprees from December 1 for the purposes of countdown to Christmas thrillers. Like it I'm not going to read all of them, but it's just so good. So good. Benjamin Stevenson is always going to be, from now on, an auto-buy author for me until he gives me a reason not to be. But so far, he's 3 out of 3. Like, really, really fantastic for me. I absolutely enjoyed the heck out of this, and I thought it was perfect for Christmas. I loved it. Learning the true meaning of Christmas was my favorite rule. It was just so good. So good. But I don't have January's book yet. For those that are on my Patreon and are on tiers 2 or 3, you did get a hint of what the 3 choices are. In my post from yesterday. But I will be recording a video and posting it this weekend of the 3 choices. The theme is New Beginnings. And I will be also posting the year's monthly themes for 2025. I can't believe I'm saying 2025. Probably tomorrow for everybody to see. You don't have to be a paid Patreon member to see that. Anything for book club itself is always 100% free. I just use Patreon. It's the best way to communicate with everyone. But the poll for January will be up this weekend, and you guys can go and vote. But I just want to say thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me this evening. I have had a wonderful time chatting with you all, and thank you so much. I hope that you all have a happy Christmas if you celebrate, happy holidays, hug all of your loved ones, squeeze them tight, and stay as absolutely cozy as you can, and get in some good reading time. Make sure you take some time for you. But I am going to finish this chamomile tea and get all cozy with my heated blanket and maybe read a couple of chapters before I start dozing off. But good night, everyone. I will see you next year for book club. Bye.